Long ago, there was a wise monk named Kavi who traveled across the rolling hills with nothing but a walking stick and a peaceful smile. One evening, as the sun dipped behind the mountains like a golden coin, he came across a tiny loop sided hut. The roof was made up of tattered straw, and the walls were leaning as if they were tired of standing. Kavi knocked the door gently, hoping for a place to rest for the night. A kind man named Raju opened the door and welcomed Kavi inside. The hut was very small and bare, but Raju and his wife Meera shared what little they had. They offered Kavi a cup of fresh water and a small piece of bread. We don't have much, Raju explained with a sigh, but we are grateful for what we have. Our life depends entirely on our one and only one cow. Outside in the yard, Meera was busy tending to their cow, a gentle creature called Gauri. Gauri provided milk that they drank and sold at the market to buy some grain. She is our safety, Meera said, patting Gauri's clay flanked texture. Without Gauri, we would have nothing at all. She is the only thing that is keeping us from hunger, so we make sure that she is always fed even when we are not. Kavi stayed that night, listening to the wind whistling through the cracks of the wall. The next morning, as the dew sparkled like glass beads on the grass, Kavi was prepared to leave. He looked at the couple who were busy brushing their beloved cow. Kavi leaned on his staff and spoke in a gentle, firm voice. You have been very kind. Before I go, I have one piece of advice for you. To find the life you are truly meant to live, you must sell the cow today. Raju and Meera grasped their eyes with wide shock. Raju looked at his cow and then his wife. The monk is a wise man, Raju whispered, his voice trembling. But the cow is everything we have, Meera. If we sell her, how will we survive? He reached out and stroked the cow's velvet soft ears, feeling the deep sadness in his chest. They spent the whole afternoon wondering if they should trust this monk's strange words. By sunset, Meera took Raju's hand. We are hardworking, Raju. Perhaps the monk saw something we cannot see. With heavy hearts, they led the cow to the village market. It was the hardest thing they could have ever done. As the buyer led the cow away, Meera held the small bag of coins tightly. Now, she said, we must find a new way to live. We have no choice but to try something new. She looked at the patch of the dirt where Gauri used to stand and realized the soil was rich and dark. She spent days digging and planting the seeds they had bought. She discovered she has a green thumb. Soon, tiny emeralds sprout, began to poke through the clay earth, reaching for the sun. Raju didn't sit idle either. Without a cow to watch over, he found he had energy to fix the things that were broken. He gathered stones from the river and began to reinforce the walls of their home. He discovered he was a talented builder. What was once a crumbling hut slowly transformed into a sturdy, beautiful cottage. A whole year passed, and Kavi returned to the mountain. He followed the same path, but the landscape had changed. Where there was a broken hut once stood, there was now a magnificent home surrounded by a sea of flowers and vegetables. As Kavi walked closer, he saw a magnificent garden filled with giant pumpkins, tall stalks of corn, and the rows of leafy greens. There was a coop where a dozen of chickens clucked and pecked at the ground. Raju was there wearing sturdy new boots with a bright blue tunic. Meera came running out of the house where she saw Kavi. She was carrying a basket overflowing with ripe red tomatoes. Master Kavi, she cried joyfully, we did what you said. She explained, when the cow was gone, we were so afraid at first. And we realized we had to plant seeds to eat. The garden grew so well we had to sell extra, and then we bought chickens, and then we started a small shop. We never knew we could do all these things because we were so busy taking care of that one and only one cow. When they sold the cow, Raju said they were terrified, but Then they realized that Gauri was a safety net, that they had become a cage. Because we were relied on her for everything, we never tried to do anything else. Meera sat next to Kavi and said, "We learned that letting go isn't losing," she whispered. "It's making room. We cling on to a small light because we are afraid of the dark, not realizing that if we let go, our eyes will finally adjust to see the sun. When you let go of what you have, you finally have the space to reach for what you can become."